Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. Now, in today's video, we're going to look at the runner. Yes, the batchat 25T with the new runner camouflage. Now, I like the look of the camouflage. I'm not going to lie. I really like the look of this camouflage. So, to be fair, the tank itself, I think it's just got better and better and better over time. There's a few things that really feel so good with the tank. One of them being the acceleration. It just feels like it gets to that speed very, very quickly. I don't know, it hasn't been changed recently, but yeah, it just feels a lot quicker than it used to. So we're going to have a look at the stats on the main gun. There's a few things that have changed, but mostly it was the second gun that's got changed. So DPM 2,889. Now we are running this with the rammer just to get the penetration up. Magazine reload is 16.2 seconds. Your shell reload time is 2.8. And this gun, you have 3 shells in your magazine. Obviously, the other gun, you have 4 shells in the magazine. You've got better DPM, or just about better DPM. But yeah, overall, you lose a bit of penetration if you use the tier 9 gun. But I think overall, it doesn't make too much difference. You have a less alpha, but you have more DPM. So your penetration on this one is 247 on your AP, 321 on your heat, and 58 on your HE. You now have 350 alpha on your AP, 300 on your heat, and 400 on your HE. Aim time is very good at 2.6. Gun dispersion is okay at 0.326. So yeah, overall, I think the stats are very good for a light tank. You know, if you want to run it with the rammer, you have 3,000 DPM, which I don't think is bad at all. 65 kilometers per hour speed as well. Now, you can run it with the refined gun because you already have good aim time. So just to get that dispersion better, I would probably run it with the refined gun. But it's personal preference. It is really up to you what equipment that you run these tanks with. But overall, I do think it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant tank in general. It's always been one of those tanks where you clip and run. Basically, you shoot your clip and then you run away, find a different position, and then release your clip again, run away, find a different position, and use it like a proper light tank. Now, again, with the other gun, it really has had a big buff. You know, you've got 4 shells. It's the 100mm gun, where this gun is the 105mm. Yeah, it's not too bad. This tank has also received a nerf as well. It hasn't, oh, sorry, this gun that I'm using has received a nerf. It hasn't just received a buff. So obviously your penetration is up a little bit. Your shot the damage per shot is up a little bit, but you do have a 3.42 seconds longer reload, which, yeah, that obviously does hurt for a light tank. But if you do play it like a clip and run, then that 3.4 seconds isn't that much, because it's not a tank really that you release your clip, you go hide behind a hill, and then you release your clip again. It really is, I mean, yeah, people do play it like that. Of course they play it like that, but it really is a clip and run tank. You release your clip and then you run away to a different location. That is how I suggest you to play the tank. Obviously, not every situation allows you to run away. Like now, I've lost a little bit of hit points and I haven't been able to run away. So yeah, the magazine reload, the less reload would have helped in that situation. But when you do play it like a proper light tank, you clip and then you run away. Like here, for example, yeah, I would have liked that 3.5 seconds less, because I would have reloaded by now. But by the time we get to the position, we have reloaded. So overall, I don't think the longer reload is a massive issue, because again, you are getting the higher penetration, the higher damage, and again, you're getting a little bit more pen as well. But yeah, I just think over the years, like, it's always been a decent tank. Wargaming have sort of adjusted it a lot of times. You know, they've tried out a few things. They went to put the intra-clip reload to 2.5 seconds, and they realized it was going to be too overpowered. They then put it to 3. They then put it to, what, 2.8. So yeah, they have played around with the batchat quite often. So yeah, they played around with the batchat quite a lot, to be fair, just to try and get that perfect balance. There is obviously a few light tanks in the game now where there didn't used to be. This is pretty much the only light tank you was able to get. And once upon a time, Wargaming actually stated that they are not intending of adding any more light tanks in tier 10. And at that time, the batchat was pretty much the only one. It was the only light tank in tier 10, and Wargaming had no plans to add any more light tanks. And then we've got, what, 4 or 5 different light tanks. So yeah, things change, obviously. Of course things change, which this is quite a few years ago now. But yeah, back in the day, it was, whether it was good or not, at the end of the day, you had nothing really to compare it. So you had to kind of, yeah, it is a good light tank because you've got nothing to compare it with. But then Wargaming started to add different light tanks. And what they started to do is add different kind of light tanks. So you had this one, which is an auto loader. Then you had the Sheridan, which was obviously a big alpha gun. And then you had the British one that was, well, you got a few tanks now, the T100, etc. You got quite a few that are the sort of the single shotgun. So you had 3 different kinds. Like they were all different. This was completely different to the Vickers. The Vickers was completely different to the Sheridan, and the Sheridan was completely different to this. Like they was all different. So if you wanted to play a light tank, there was many different ways that you could play a light tank. If you wanted the auto loader, you play the batchat. If you wanted just a single shotgun with good DPM, you would play the Vickers. And if you wanted a high alpha, big boom shot, you would play the Sheridan. So I love that fact. Obviously, of course, over time, there have been a few more light tanks added into the game. But still, there isn't anything really like the batchat. It is still on its own, up there, auto loader. I'm probably expecting maybe an auto reloader to come. That'll be nice. That's something we really haven't got in tier 10, the auto loader, sorry, the auto reloader. I think that would be pretty nice when it comes to light tank. But you know, there's no plans. I haven't heard anything whether or not that will come in the future. But I just think, you know, that would be ideal. Then we'd have at least one of each in tier 10. But yeah, I absolutely love the batchat. Of course, it doesn't have any armor. Yeah, you can get the troll bounce if you're very, very lucky. And of course, you do have to be very, very careful. Now you've got 3.5 seconds extra on that reload, especially if you're in this kind of situation that our guy's here now. Doesn't want to run away. He just has to hide. And that's 3.5 seconds extra of hiding, which that in a way does really suck. Like now, he's going to shoot this last shell. I love what he's doing here. Really do love what he's doing, shooting through that gap, which is really, really helping. You know, he's hiding and he's not getting shot in return. But now he's just got that extra few seconds to wait around. Now the T95E6 has taken his shot. He is going to push forward. He would have reloaded by now, whether or not he takes a shot, which he does. But at least he knows he can take care of that guy. So now 5,000, pretty much 5,500 damage. He is on his own against 3 tanks. So being in a light tank on a map like Mines isn't really ideal because it's a small map. You can't really run and hide anywhere. There's not many positions that you can run and hide. I love the fact he's rushing towards the 100, just manages to get there. Literally just manages. 0.01 seconds later, he is not fitting through that gap. He does take a shot from the Conqueror, so that does bring him down to a potential 1 HE shot from the Conqueror. So there is still a lot of work to do. He's on his own against 2 tanks, so it's not looking great. And that's the thing with the batchat. You're not going to bounce too many shots. He has bounced a shot, but even if you don't bounce a shot, to be fair, it is still a fantastic tank. And again, all depends on how you play it. He's in a sticky situation now, but he's on 7,500 damage. You know, he's done a remarkable job. He goes for the shot, gets he gets the bait, and he is now going to be able to take care of that Conqueror. So now it's a 1 versus 1. anything can happen. You know, he's up against a mouse who's very, very slow. If he can manage to bait a shot from the mouse, anything could happen now. And there's still a lot of hit points, 1,600 hit points there. That would bring him to 10,000 damage if he manages to get this done. He's on 6 kills as well, so he's going to want this win, but the mouse, of course, isn't going to make it easy for him. Now, what he really needs to do, there's still 2.5 minutes on the clock. I would still relocate and maybe go back up on the hill. That's probably what I would do, to try and use your light tank skills, maybe hopefully not get spotted. But yeah, a map like this, if that guy's capping and you do try and shoot him above the hill, then yeah, you're going to get spotted. Just like now, he is spotted, so he has to again relocate to a different position. Unfortunately, misses all 3 shots there. If he managed to pen all 3 shots, then he would be just over 9,000 damage. But the time is running out. 1.5 minutes left on the clock, but he's still got a lot of hit points. Even at this point, maybe go for a shot, maybe go for a draw. I don't know what he wants, but with 1,600 hit points to still get through, he's going to want this win. He's going to want the victory, because that is a lot of damage to do. So yeah, I hate these kind of situations when you've done a lot of damage, but it's almost impossible. Even if he could take 1 shot, then it could have changed the difference to this game. But even now, he's trying to go up. He gets spotted, so again, he has to relocate, and it's very annoying on a map like this. You try and get into a position, you try and trick the enemy, and then you just get spotted because the map is just so small. So less than 1 minute on the clock. He has to reset this camo, this cap, otherwise it will be a loss. Now with 50 seconds, I think, you know, is he just going to rush in and hope for the best? Maybe sometimes that is what people do, but again, is he going to get there and he's going to get spotted before he gets there? Hopefully the mouse isn't looking the same way. He's not, he just gets behind him, he gets the shot, resets the cap, and then if he could run away now, or even just hide behind this building and go for a draw. He's broke that 9,000 damage mark. But no, he doesn't want to end here. If he can reload 3 shells, he can clear the mouse right now. And clearly, that is what he wants to do. A draw is not enough for him. He tries to go for the shot. He gets the shot. 2 more shots left. Can he do it? But the mouse has now made it in a difficult situation. At this point, I would just sit there. I would just sit there and go for the draw. But nah, he wasn't happy. He wanted to get 1 more shot in. I personally would have gone for the draw, but 9,500 damage, one of the highest damages done in this tank, and it just showcases how good this tank can actually be in the right hands. Hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. I'm meadsy69, and I'll catch you all soon. Bye-bye. With